Travelers, welcome back to the Josh channel. If you're pulling for Nefer in 6.1, then you're in for a treat. This 5-star Dendro Catalyst is the ultimate Lunar Bloom powerhouse, turning chaotic bloom reactions into your personal damage fireworks show. We're focusing on a super quick build guide for you here today, focusing on her killer elemental skill in core mechanics, plus her weapons, artifact stats, and teams, and talent priority to get you shredding into the Spiral Abyss and endgame content. Gamers, level up your game without breaking the bank. Dive into LOOTBAR's epic 6.1 recharge event, now live with a sleek new page. Grab the exclusive and limited 6,480 Genesis Crystals pack, gone in just 1 week with this discount. Plus score big with our all-in-one and guaranteed bundles for unbeatable value. New to LOOTBAR, snag a 10% discount coupon on your first buy. Returning legends, enjoy that 5% plus an additional 3% off for a total of 8% savings. Valid for 1 week only. Just enter your UID and get it nearly instantly. Join over 100,000 trusted users. Check out our glowing of trust pilot review. Other top creators like Genshin Impact and Raiden Shotgun enjoy LOOTBAR and swear by it for its secure instant recharges. Head over to lootbar.gg with my own unique tag. Check it out in the description below and game on. Limited time and don't miss out. Nefer's bread and butter is her elemental skill, the Senate strategy, Dance of 1,000 Nights. Tap it to charge forward to do AoE Dendro damage, and then boom, you're going to be entering the Shadow Dance state for 9 seconds on a 2-charge use. This is huge as your charge attacks will transform into a Phantasm Performance, a rapid-fire Dendro assault that's going to consume Verdant-induced stacks generated by the skill and faster in this state. This is going to deal coordinated Lunar Bloom damage, and it's going to be her main DPS engine. Her main mechanic revolves around her mastery of the Lunar Bloom, and Nefer's going to convert standard Bloom reactions into enhanced Lunar Bloom via her passive, skilling massive damage off of your elemental mastery, gaining percentage damage bonuses per EM point up to 14% extra. While you're in Ascendant Gleam, which is very important, you need to have at least one other Nodcry teammate, such as Llama or Ino, to trigger this Ascended Gleam passive. Dendro cores and Bountiful cores are going to be turned into absorbable Seeds of Deceit for her main mechanic. Do note that Seeds of Deceit will not trigger Hyperbloom or Burgeon reactions, keeping things clear and free for Nefer to absorb them and use them for her bonus Lunar Bloom focus. Nefer's going to be able to turn normal Dendro cores into these seeds for the next 15 seconds. Every Lunar Bloom reaction while you're in your elemental skill state is going to create a seed instead of a core. And you'll be able to generate additional seeds depending on your Hydro application and Dendro triggers. During the state, you're going to be able to suck these up basically by using charge attacks and build Veils of the Falsehood stacks. You're going to be able to get 1 Veil stack per seed. You're going to want to target maxing at least 3 stacks or 5 at Constellation 2 per Shadow Dance cycle for the sweet Elemental Mastery bonus that lasts up to 8 seconds and gain additional attack from excess EM via her passive. Your goal is going to be to absorb as many seeds as possible and turn them into damage via Nefer's abilities. Her burst, Sacred Vow, True Eyes Phantasm is going to be dumping those stacks into massive AoE Dendro damage as a rotation closer, scaling harder with the more Veils that you consume. Overall, you're going to try to stay on field during Shadow Dance, ensuring the Hydro Aura application is well enabled for you to spam and generate these core seeds. You're going to cycle your skills, reactions, Phantom Absorbs, and then finally Elemental Burst. It's going to be a fluid and reaction heavy DPS scenario. For talent priority, let's set the rumors straight. Nefer is indeed all about her elemental skill and using it as an on-field DPS damage source. So for talent priority, you're going to want to maximize your elemental skill, take it to 9 or even 10. This is your number 1 source of damage as it enables Shadow Dance and the entire mechanics revolving around her kit. You'll be able to generate Verdant Dew stacks, trigger Ascendant Gleam for Seed of Deceit conversion, and every level pumps up the multi-hit damage core generation and stack efficiency that you're going to be doing with Nefer. Ultimately, a lot of the time your Elemental Burst is more of the cherry on top of your kit, but you can level this up and it is your secondary priority. And as we stated, it does consume those Veils for stacking AoE nukes. It is a solid secondary thing, but it shines more with higher skill uptime. And lastly, her normal attack, you can actually just leave this at level 1. Striking Serpent, yeah, we don't need that. You're going to be barely using any of your normal attack talents to buff up the damage you're doing with Nefer. So there's no real reason to waste resources here. When we're moving into weapon selections, there's two very important things that we're looking for. We're either looking for additional crit rate or crit damage or elemental mastery to fuel our Lunar Bloom scaling damage. Here's going to be the top meta picks. The number one is obviously going to be her own signature weapon, the Reliquary of Truth. This thing slaps because it's got elemental mastery bonus on skill. It gives you massive bonus damage, crit damage for your Lunar Bloom hits. It purely synergizes with everything in Nefer's kit, and it is by far her best weapon. Other weapons to look at are 5-star weapons that either give you elemental mastery, something like the Nightweaver's Looking Glass, as it gives EM stacks, team-wide Lunar Bloom and Bloom buff damage, and it's great for reaction-based teams. Whereas you have other 5-star options such as Kagura's Verity that gives a massive amount of crit damage bonus as well. Just do keep in mind that damage percent bonuses with the Nod Cry Lunar reactions don't scale the Lunar reaction damage itself. For that, you need crit stats or elemental mastery, period. Percentage damage bonuses don't count. And if you're looking for a solid free-to-play pick option, something like the Black Marrow Lantern with its elemental mastery substat, flat bonuses to Lunar Bloom damage, and bonus elemental mastery makes it an ultimate budget king for core free-to-play players. If you don't have any of these options, just check out for something that gives you crit damage or elemental mastery, or crit rate and elemental mastery as well. Stay away from anything that largely focuses on giving you percentage damage bonuses. Those aren't going to help any of your lunar based reactions at all. Moving into artifacts, let's go. We're going in all in on EM for reaction nukes, balancing it with some crit rate stats as well. For the artifact setup, 4-piece Night of the Skies Unveiling is going to be amazing here for us. It's going to give us some bonus elemental mastery on the 2-piece, and it's going to be buffing up our crit ratios with your moon sign state, which is something that you want to be doing in a Nefer team anyway. It's simply going to be her best in slot. If you don't have access to this setup quite yet, you can also take a look at something like the 4-piece Gilded Dreams for even more elemental mastery, which is something that we definitely need to pull her kit together. Main stats for your different artifacts, your Sands is obviously going to be elemental mastery here. Your Goblet does need to be elemental mastery here. You don't want to use a Dendro Goblet because, just like we talked about previously, damage percent bonuses don't affect lunar based reactions. So take an elemental mastery Goblet if available. For the Circlet though, we still want to focus on either crit chance or crit damage. We're aiming for a 1-to-2 ratio like every other crit based character in Genshin Impact. When you're trying to find a target for your substats or total stats, you want to hit at least 800 plus elemental mastery, aim for at least 60% crit rate to like 180 to 200 crit damage, and just watch her damage explode. Now, one important thing to keep in mind when you're coming up with team compositions for Nefer is she needs Nod Cry allies, at least one for the Ascendant Gleam core conversion. You cannot skip this. So someone like Llama or Aino are going to be a guaranteed amazing partner for Nefer. You could use someone like Inefa here as well, although Inefa teams generally are probably better as a separate entity. A couple examples would be like a premium Hyper Bloom based team. This is going to be something like Nefer, Llama, Yelan, as well as Aino. The free-to-play Plume team here with Nefer, Nahida, Xingqiu, and Aino, or some comfort and sustain options like Nefer, Llama, Kokomi, and Kirara. There's a couple of different options from flexible picks for you to make up your different Nefer-based teams. Do keep in mind that you do need to have a Nod Cry character. Llama is going to be by far and away her best partner, but if you don't have access to her, then you definitely should use Aino instead. You also want to have a solid Hydro Applicator in your party, so someone like Xingqiu and Yelan work wonders here, and you definitely don't want to forego healing in your party as well, so even someone like Kokomi or Kirara or even Kuki Shinobu can help you out in your Nefer Hyper Bloom based teams. So there you have it. You weren't even here that long. Nefer's built-in blooming. Drop a like if you're hyped for 6.1 and you want to see more Genshin or other content gacha game related on this channel. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out, and I'll catch you guys, God bless, in the next one.